Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to round number 2 of the F1 Esports World Championship. We head towards Suzuka for round number 2. And as you can see, it's a little bit wet here in Q1. Last time out we finished 4th, of course. Our teammate Freddy Rasmussen won the race with pole position. So we had a huge point haul in the Constructors Championship. But of course, it's only one race done. Still a lot of races to go, and a lot more races to gain or lose points in the championship. Obviously, we're going to try and gain those points, but that is easier said than done. Suzuka back on the calendar for the first time since 2022, if my mind serves me correct. And yeah, this is a very qualifying dominant track, so we're going to have to qualify well if we want to score well, especially on this game. It's going to be nearly impossible to really do anything in the race if you don't qualify well. Overtaking close to being impossible. I would say this is Monaco without the walls, with how hard it is to overtake on this track. As you can see, wet at the moment, and we're out on the full wet. It is going to dry up more and more throughout this qualifying session, but yeah, we're definitely going to move to the inters, but this is just to get a feeling for the wet conditions out on track. And yeah, set a little benchmark lap time, even though this is not going to be representative at all come the end of the session. It's really, yeah, going to come down to the last lap here in Q1. The track is going to dry up throughout this whole session. Our teammate Freddy Rasmussen goes P1, we go P4. Around 4 tenths away from P1, I think, so 4 or 5 tenths. But again, this is not relevant for now. Our teammate Freddy Rasmussen again goes fastest up to P1, and yeah, if he gets pole again, that will be 2 poles in a row. That will be really impressive. And across the line we're gonna go. It is P2, 6 tenths away actually from our teammate. So he did a really good lap. I think we lost a lot of time in the last chicane. We just braked too early, but again, it doesn't matter too much. It comes down to this lap, and you want to cross the line as late as possible. 23 seconds, and only one person has started the lap so far. So everyone waiting to start the lap in the last second, basically. And yeah, it makes it very messy. I think we got it quite spot on, to be honest. We crossed the line with 7 seconds remaining. 6-7 seconds. And yeah, we're going to have to improve. That's the only way we make it through. If we invalidate, it's over. We will not make it through. Because the track is so much faster already. As you can see, 2-3 tenths up as we head into the fast S section. We got a little bit of a benchmark ahead of us. In terms of, are we setting a good lap? Sometimes you can visually see you're gaining time. And yeah, into sector 2, we're already going to be 1.1 seconds up. And yeah, you can see that's not ideal. We bottomed out over the apex curve there, and that definitely cost us around 1 to 2 tenths. A little bit of wheel spin on the right-hander as well. This has not been a perfect lap, but obviously the conditions are constantly changing. You don't have to put in a world record lap here in order to make it through. Everyone will be making mistakes in these conditions. Driving on the wet in this game, I absolutely do not like it. It's constantly you're floating, driving overgraft, drifting, flicking is even worse. It is one of the worst experience I've had racing anything in my life. It's complete bollocks, to say it lightly. But Ismail Fassi goes for provisional P1. Our teammate Freddy Rasmussen improves on that by 3 tenths. And let's see how close we can get. We don't need to get close, we just need to make it through. Across the line, we run out of battery a little bit early, but up to P8 we go. And that is quite easily enough to make it into Q2. Of course, with a few mistakes here and there, which yeah, ended up to us being 3.7 tenths off. Alvaro Carreton and John Evans out in Q1 there. But yeah, the lap time is there in these wet conditions for sure. We just need to hook it up. But yeah, taking it safe, in this Q1 session. As we move on to Q2, this is a used set of tires, but yeah, it shouldn't be too far off the pace. We're saving that new set of inters for the last run, as Q3 will be dry. Across the line we go, and it's a 34.444, and that puts us P5. Not too bad on a used set. Obviously, we don't exactly know what other teams are doing. But as you can see here, we are on slicks at the very end of Q2, and it's still raining. And coming out of the final chicane, the grip is not there yet. It's just not quite there, and this is a huge risk. We're gaining into turn 1 somehow, perhaps due to the setup change, but into turn 1 we go. And you can see we're not gaining time at the moment. Unless it dries up throughout this lap significantly, we are gonna be out in Q2. Obviously, I'm gonna keep pushing throughout this first sector. We didn't really gain or lose time through there, but yeah, now finally we've actually gained half a tenth. But I reckon the people on the inters are gaining even more, and that is no ideal, of course. We've got to keep it on the track, half a tenth down, and we're gonna need something magical here in the next half a lap. It has to dry up fast, and sometimes that does happen, but it's still raining, and we've lost 3 tenths coming out of the hairpin, and that's our teammate Freddy Rasmussen passing us there. This is not ideal. We have to improve, otherwise we're going to be out. And into the next left-hander we're going to go. Again, we're not losing a huge amount of time, we're also not gaining, and we're 7 tenths down now, and this means we're going to be out in Q2 here. Yeah, very, very frustrating. Not ideal, of course. As you can see, ghosting is on, so this is not really an issue. But yeah, it was just a little bit unnecessary. And yeah, this is simply going to cost us a lot of points, because we're going to be down in P14 by the end of that. And yeah, if we drive the race of our life, we're going to end up in P5, P6 at most, simply because it's nearly impossible to overtake on this track. So this was really frustrating and kind of unnecessary, to be honest. We nearly made it through on our first run on used tires on the Inter. So yeah, that's super frustrating, and will cost us a lot of points here in Suzuka. Freddy ended up on pole again, though, as you can see, P1, and this made it even more frustrating because we had the pace to get a good qualifying in there. At least a top 5 would have been top 5 or top 6 easily. I reckon realistically we would have been P3. If we had not put it together, we would have been P5. But yeah, very frustrating. And yeah, we're down in P14 now, and we've got a huge mountain to climb in this race. Onto the race we go then, and as you can see, we got the hard medium strategy selected. Obviously, it's starting down in P14. We just have to try something different, otherwise we're not going to get anywhere. And yeah, usually the undercut is the strongest strategy here. But today we're going to have to go for the hard mediums. I had some questions on why the MFD is blocked, by the way, in the bottom right. It's just standard practice. I have to do it. You can complain about it all you want in the comments. It's not going to change. But yeah, on the hards we are. There's actually someone on the softs there in the top 5. A lot of hard runners back here. And yeah, we're just going to do the usual strategy that I like to do, even though it's very unlikely to work here. We've got to try something. We're going to be starting on the hards, and we're going to go long in this race. And it's going to be 5 red lights. And away we go. I nearly jumped the start there, and that's because Alvaro Carrington behind us jumped. Our teammate Freddy Rasmussen jumped, who was sitting next to me, and Nicolas Longate jumped the start as well. So I was so close to jumping the start there, and it put me a little bit out of my rhythm. Julian Klaffenbach got past there. Kind of had to settle down a little bit again mentally, because he had a huge adrenaline surge because I nearly jumped the start. So yeah, we dropped 1 position, not the end of the world, of course. We got Alvaro behind us, which got a 10-second penalty. That's not going to get removed. It is simply due to the fact if you jump start, that's it. You're not gonna get your 10 seconds removed. He knows his race is basically straight away over from here on. But yeah, you can see on the mini-map, Freddy jumped the start from pole. He got Nicolas Longe behind him, but they've broken DRS to the rest of the grid. So Freddy is just gonna go flat out in this race and try to create a 10-second gap. It is basically an impossible challenge to pull off. But as everyone knows, if there's someone that can pull it off, it's Freddy. And yeah, that's what he's gonna try and do here. So opening lap is done. And yeah, we've lost one position. Not the end of the world. Not ideal, of course. But yeah, all we gotta do now is just sit behind, save tires, and go as long as possible in the stint. All the medium hard runners have boxed, and yeah, hard medium is gonna start boxing now as well for the new set of the mediums. You can see 3-4 people boxing there, and now we've got a little bit of a gap ahead of us. We've saved tires, and we're gonna push into that gap. Our teammate Freddy Rasmussen there in the bottom left. You can see together with Nicolas Longe, they have pulled, I think, already a 5-second gap. So this is going to be really interesting to see if they can pull this off. Or at least Freddy. I think Freddy has basically carried Nicolas along for his whole stint. Lap 14, you can see we've gained a little bit of lap time to Jan Halliday. He is now 1.2 seconds ahead of us, 1.1, and he's going to be diving into the pit. So that's a good lap from us. We set a 1:29.6 for personal best this race, and now we got to try and close in the gap to Alfie Butcher. We got John Evans 1.7 seconds behind us. And yeah, now we're going to go full push and go as long as possible until the tires blow up, basically. And then we're going to put on a set of the mediums. We do not care about track position because our track position was bad anyway. We were in P15. So yeah, a little bit of time gained to Alfie Butcher on this lap. 3/4 I think so. Some of that came down to the battery, of course, and he's going to get DRS on this straight. So he's going to gain some of the time back to Thomas Ronhard boxes from the lead of the race. Not the net race lead, of course. And yeah, you can see there in the top left, Nicolas Longe and Freddy Rasmussen both with a 10-second penalty. But the gap is quite big. John Evans, we've actually increased the gap quite a bit to John Evans. I think he's trying to...
let's have you in at the end of this lap, please.
Block Nicolas Longe and Freddy Rasmussen a little bit. We're going to be boxing at the end of this lap. Tires are pretty cooked by now. And yeah, boxing for a new set of the mediums. And then it's basically just 8 qualifying laps to the end. As you can see there in the top left, the gap between Freddy Rasmussen and Otis Lawrence is 7.2 seconds, 7.3 seconds. Make that 7.4. Obviously, some of that is down to the DRS on the main straight, but they are not far away from pulling off one of the most insane races in F1 Esports, and they are pushing flat out to pull it off. They're taking all the risk possible because why not? If they manage to only pull the 7-second gap, then they probably drop down to P8 or P9 anyway. So they're going maximum attack. You can see Freddy's back leading to try and pull this off. You can see how big the gap is. But 5 laps to the end now, and we finally caught up to the lead train. We gotta recharge the battery a little bit more here. So yeah, we're gonna recharge the battery a little bit more and then go on the attack on Tom Manley. We got a lot fresher tires than basically everyone ahead. Remember, the ones that will have the freshest tires against us will be Alfie Butcher and Thomas Ronhard. John Evans behind us, boxed on the same lap, he's 5 seconds behind. We've got the fast lap of the race, so if we get into the top 10, then we get that extra point. So let's see if we can do something here. A little bit of lag there as well, by the way. You You could see that lots of issues with lag in the first 2 events. And yeah, we're gonna have to send this right away. We're gonna have to be so aggressive. We can't quite pull the move off. I locked up there as well. Nearly took Tom Manley out there actually. And now it's gonna be a drag race into what is this corner called? The next left-hander. Is it Spoon? I think it's Spoon Curve. Anyway, we get the move done. And we've only got 4 laps remaining to try and get back into the points here. Joni Tormela on the hards ahead of us. I think he might have gone a little bit long on the mediums and then swapped late onto the hards. But yeah, again, that's a big risk and usually doesn't work. But if you're starting so far down, you might as well try something in this race. His tires will be a lot slower than ours, and we're gonna go for the move into turn 1. That's close, and we just managed to get past there into turn 1. And up to P14 we go. We need to gain another few positions now. Julian Klaffenbach and Jan Halliday both boxed I think 5 and 6 laps earlier than us. So yeah, let's see what we can pull off here in the last 3.5 laps of this race. Points will be already a great achievement from P15 after turn 1. But yeah, it won't be easy. Let's see what we can do here. Really close on Julian Klaffenbach in the hairpin. And let's see if we can pull off the move maybe into 130R. I think that's our best bet. A little bit of a run, but again, you can see how much dirt here there is, and we just cannot get close. All Julian has to do is basically leave a gap ahead of him, which is exactly what he did. But now, because we are close, we're getting a little bit of slipstream. Perhaps we got a little bit faster setup on the straight as well, because he's flashing. Which means he has no battery remaining, and we're going to go around the outside into the chicane. We clear him before the apex, and up to P13 we go. 3 laps to go to gain another 3 positions for points. It won't be easy. But yeah, perhaps there's going to be penalties as well, of course, so we just got to keep our head down. If we don't make it, we don't make it. It is what it is. We're going to recharge the battery again a little bit here, in the first sector especially. In the middle as well, and then maybe we can go for another move into the chicane. That is the goal here. If we make a move every lap into the chicane, then we will get points, but that's easier said than done because we have to use so much battery to get one move done, as you've seen in the bottom left of the mini-map that Longuet has dropped Fred, and that's because Fred crashed in the attempts of creating the 10-second gap. Remember when we bottomed out on the apex curb in Q1? That's basically what happened to Fred, but if you're pushing 102% every single lap non-stop, there's just such a big chance that eventually you get caught out on that curb and just, yeah, drive into the wall. So Freddy is unfortunately not going to score points in this race. Really unfortunate because, yeah, with his pace, he could have easily won this race, basically. We're going to go for the move into the chicane. We can't pull it off. And we have to settle behind Jan Halliday again. Again, we're going to go for a move into turn 1, of course, but we have no battery remaining. Neither does Jan, to be honest. So perhaps we can pull something off into turn 1 with a little switchback. But again, it's just so easy to defend and so hard to overtake. So much dirt here. Our tires are so much faster, but yeah, Jan has the gap ahead of him. Doesn't get any dirt here. And that just basically cancels out the tire advantage. So we're going to recharge the battery and go for it again. Obviously, we're only fighting for P12 at the moment. It will be P11 though, obviously, because Freddy is going to drop out from there. You can see he is off the track, letting everyone through, as he has half a front wing left at this point. So yeah, let's see if we can at least grab a point, which will turn into 2 points. That's the aim here in this race. And again, yeah, Jan just leaving the gap ahead of him. We're 2 tenths behind, and we just can't get the rotation through here. Too much dirt here. But we're just going to go for it again into the chicane. That's the only thing we can do. That's the only overtake opportunity we really have. And we've got a little bit of a run, to be honest, again. We're really fast on the straight here. And we're going to go around the outside in the chicane. We're going to brake late. And unfortunately, we cannot get the move done. A little bit of lag involved there as well. But again, so you can get a move done into turn 1 perhaps. Both of us are flashing. But yeah, as you can see there, slipstream is non-existent. And we've got to settle behind once again, recharge the battery, and then we're going to try again in the last lap. If someone gets a penalty ahead, that means P11 for us. If we overtake Jan, that will be P10. And then we get 2 points. It might not sound like a lot, but for the people who have watched all the races live, those 2 points might come in so crucial at the end of the year, and that's why we just gotta fight for every single point like crazy, and that's what we're gonna try and do, because we've got the opportunity, we've got the tire advantage. Let's see what we can do. Into Spoon, we're gonna get a lot of dirty air again, of course, but Jan is a little bit closer than the lap before now. He might try and go for a move himself, perhaps. As you can see, it's gotten a little bit wide, a little bit of a moment on the exit, and that is just all we need to have a run into 130R and the final chicane. We've got a lot of battery to play with. We will not be running out of battery, so let's see what we can do in the final chicane. We're gonna brake as late as possible around the outside, but we just get caught out by the dirty air there. We lock the front, and we're gonna have to give that position back. But we want to be as close as possible across the finish, because as you can see, Alfie butchered there with a 3-second penalty, but because there was a post-race penalty as well for an incident, that gives us P10, and that gives us the 2 points that we needed there right in the end. And it is frustrating, because if we had a normal qualifying session there, we might have won the race. We might have also jumped the start and not gotten any points. But yeah. P10 it is. 2 points. Very frustrating. We lost a lot of points today in the team championship, of course. In the drivers championship as well. But it is what it is. We gotta accept it and move on to the next race and go maximum attack again there. Because that's what we need to do in order to win this championship. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. And see you guys next time. Ciao.